Hey Cats fan, it's Ben Reeve here from the Hoop Show. I'm not feeling too crash hot, but I'm going to try and push through and get through some of the tweets of the week. Now, our first tweet this week is from Cats at the Pivotians. The Cat says, if you think the umpires won the game for Geelong, then you simply didn't watch the game. 18 plus inside 50s, 11 less turnovers, 13 plus tackles, 9 plus scoring shots. Cats should have won by more. Completely agree. There goes the voice, Mickey Mouse. We probably should have won by a little bit more, but credit to the Lions, I suppose. They played quite well through the whole night and kept us honest, and really goal for goal for a long while there. And what they took advantage of their opportunities, which is a bit frustrating for us Geelong supporters, whereas we blew a few simple set shots, I suppose. Had a lot more of it. Seemed to be down our end a hell of a lot, and you can't just say it's all down to umpires for a few decisions, especially when you can pick out two or three that went against us that were so obvious in the last 5 minutes as well. If you're good enough to win, you're good enough to win. That's how it goes. Thanks, Cats. The next tweet's from the Chaps Chat Cats, and the boys say that Geelong have stuck to their philosophy even when they're staring at a loss down the barrel, even when it's not all clicking, is massively impressive. It would be so easy to revert to what is familiar. That they have continued to be bold is immense. It really is impressive, isn't it? That it's so easy to go back to what's comfortable, maybe what's been drilled into you year after year for a fair while, especially this chip sort of style, possess the ball that we've had for quite a few years now. To go away from that in just an off season. And to stick with it, and to be 3-1 now, when let's all remember we were 2-2. I think for the last couple of years we were, at least anyway. I can't remember that further beyond that, but I'm really proud of the boys for believing in the coaches, new coaching system, new coaches as well. Really just believing in the message and live or die by it. And so far it's paying off, and there's probably going to be some games where it doesn't, but I think probably what we want to see is that the boys stick to the structure. We're going to make tweaks throughout the year. That's what happens. All clubs will do that almost every month. There's something new that you've got to add to your game. Teams start to figure you out when they get a bit more vision of you as well. Good observation there, boys. Thanks for that. Next tweet's from Matt at Turvey. Matt says, pretty happy with that win. We were really challenged by a quality Lions team. A lot of the boys stood up when it counted. No Selwood or Stewart, excellent fitness. Geelong is going to be a good fourth quarter team this year. Go Cats. They do seem to run out the games pretty well at the moment. A bit sluggish after the halftime break, which is a bit of concern for a couple of games now. But those fourth quarters, some of those fitter players just keep running, don't they? And haven't even got Menegola in the squad yet. So wait till we get him back. Probably one of our fittest blokes going around. So Myers was probably those ones that I was thinking he wasn't playing that well, but I forgot that he's got a bit of an engine, and he was probably always going to come good in that fourth quarter and get a bit more of it. And really good to see when Guthrie came on. He didn't seem to waste too much. I'm going to just take a sip of water. Anyway, all right, thanks for that, Matt. It was a good one. Who's next? Trevor Young. And Trevor says, liking the willingness to play on and push through the centre. It will come unstuck at times, but a strategy well worth sticking with. Go slow when the game requires it. Solid win. Bad kicking for goal notwithstanding. Sam de Koning showing good signs. Really loving Sam's game, just to start off there. And thanks, Trevor. Loving the King, Sam de Koning's game at the moment. He's developing, and wasn't perfect on the weekend, but there was a couple of moments where he lost those strength battles with his opponent and just probably wasn't in the right position, and maybe wasn't reading the game as well as he could have. But equally, he did a lot of good things. Got a fist to the ball, took quite a few intercept marks. Seemed to grow in confidence the longer the game went. I mean, he hasn't even played a handful of games yet, so let's get 10, 20 games into him. I don't think we're going to give the bloke. I hope we're not going to give the bloke a hard time. There's not much of him yet, but give him another couple of seasons and judge him then. But I think right now we've got to get games into him and get his confidence going. And I think we're going to see that confidence grow, and he's going to he's on a trajectory to improving really quickly. I think maybe in mid-year, I think Sam De Conning's almost going to be a mainstay in our side. I hope he is anyway. But yeah, as I said with the previous tweeter, Trevor, I really like that we're sticking with our game, even though potentially it can come unstuck at times. It is worth sticking with it. I don't want us to see us go away from it. Look, we might at times when you get under pressure, you tend to sort of panic a little bit. But so far so good, except for the Sydney game. But you can probably even find some good things in that game as well. Thanks, Trevor. Nick Cahill says, the thought that one day we won't have Joel Selwood and Tom Hawkins scares the shit out of me. Yeah, it's going to happen one day, isn't it? Hopefully, this is a bit weird, but hopefully it happens this year. And when I say that, I mean hopefully we win the premiership. And it's a nice way to send the boys off for being excellent servants of the club. And I don't think anyone would begrudge them if they did walk away after holding the cup aloft. Yeah, I have a feeling it's probably Selwood is starting to think about walking away, and I got a feeling Tommy might go a couple more. I don't know. I hope they both hang around forever, but eventually it's got to come to an end. But I am liking that a lot of the younger guys are starting to take on more responsibility in games, and it is a bit of a spread. It's not just the few years back when it was the Holy Trinity, wasn't it? It was Danger, Selwood and Ablett. But it's not that anymore at all. At various stages of the game, and in all four games, we've had a different player that's put their hand up. Close in this round 2, he was one of our younger players. He put his hand up, did really well. And then some of the other players, clearly Danger and Smith from Hawthorn last week was pretty amazing. But I think just a lot of the younger guys just doing their role. It's really impressive. But eventually, we're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of these 30-year-olds. And similar to 2011 when we won the flag, mass exodus the year after. Could be the same thing, I'd say. Let's hope not. But, we've got to keep. The Geelong will be around forever, and we'll get new heroes to cheer for in the years to come. Thanks, Nick. Anthony Robinson. Here's to you, Anthony. You've probably heard that a million times. I know he cops it from supporters most weeks, but Collar has had a bloody good game tonight. I really rated him tonight, and I've loved Collar Dashney for a long time, but equally I can be a bit hard on him too. I've just really hoped that I've always wanted him to become an elite defender, and I don't think he'll get to that level anymore. I think we've probably seen enough of him. I think he'll steadily get better and better and probably get to a Henderson sort of level over time, by the time it's all said and done. But, I think he played really well. He did a lot of great things did in the moments that mattered. And I think that's really important that it's one thing to be playing okay when we're up by 30 or... you're the beneficiary of someone else's good work, but I think Collar Dashney took a lot of good marks and just disposed of it pretty cleanly too. So I'm really impressed with him on the weekend. Didn't get him in the votes, but he wasn't far out of it. So I was really, really happy with his game. Thanks, Anthony. Now, Chook. I can't remember if we've had Chook on the tweets before. I mean, we might have. If we haven't, he's got close a couple of times. And Chook, I am assuming you are a male because you've got a Chris Scott avatar. But Holmes has somehow become more football than athlete in one off-season. Genuine class and good choices with his disposal. I love Holmesy. Sherlock is one of my favourite young guys going around at the club. He's just done amazing things, and I think there's probably a few players, younger players, that others are picking to sort of become that next elite level type. But my money's on Holmes to almost be there as early as next year. I've seen so much just in 4 weeks of footy, and he's not there yet. Don't get me wrong, but he's on the path. And I don't know. There's just something in his eye. He feels like he belongs, and he's put on a lot of muscle in the last pre-season, and you'd expect him to put on even more and to get more confidence and. See more of the ball as well, just to sort of, more games in this Geelong style. He'll be the centre. He'll be one of our main mids in the next 2 to 3 years. So future's looking good for Holmes and a few other young guys in the group. Thanks, Chip. Now I'm going to struggle. I think I know how to pronounce this. Roche, I think. Apologies, Roche, or at @RB_Hickey if I've got that wrong. But Roche says, this team constantly gives me heart and headaches with the stress it causes. That pressure was amazing. Well played, boys. Yeah. Reminds me of watching Leighton Hewitt years ago. He never won it easy. Like he'd often, he'd be up 2 sets and end up winning at 5 sets. I'm like, can you just win the game, mate? But we make it really hard with our poor kick. And game you should win, not comfortably. I don't want to discredit. Brisbane's a great side, but we had their measure on Friday night, and we just kind of the lack of accuracy at goal was keeping them in it a fair bit. But yeah, it is a bit stressful watching the boys. I doesn't matter how many premierships we win, I'm still a pessimistic Geelong supporter from. I try to be optimistic, but it's still a bit pessimistic from years ago when we lost all those grand finals and just assumed the worst. And I remember even before the grand finals when we used to drop games from 20 points up all the time. Just, oh God. I grew up on that stuff, so that's just ingrained in me now, unfortunately. But yeah, still get heart attacks. Have to leave the room sometimes. Again, a bit like what I used to watch Leighton Hewitt or Pat Rafter back in the day. Just got stressed, had to leave the room. Thanks for a show. And Stuart Cahill, I think, at our man in Manila, says, important win for the shape of the overall season. A bit of belief. I'm a big believer on this, Stuart. I think it's amazing what a few early wins can do for your overall season. If you're in that sort of premiership window, pardon me, need to find an edit button for that one. But yeah, if you're in that premiership window and you're banking those early wins, it can really set you up nicely for the rest of the year. So let's hope it does. We are 3-1 now, slightly improved on last year. Never an easy game against Hawthorn, but we've got them next week. So hopefully we'll continue doing the right things and following the system that we've got. Whether we win it or lose it, I just want to see the boys keep going with that. It'd be great to be 4-1. It is still very much early in the season though, and there's a long, long way to go, and we just need a bit of luck along the way. But yeah, it's a really, really great start, and it really sends the message that what we're doing is working. The worst thing you want is for the players to sort of stop believing the message. But yeah, I remember Cameron Ling saying on his podcast to the final bell, I think that's what it's called. He was saying that in 2007 they were sort of a bit unsure at first, and then they started realising that what they were doing was actually working. And then as soon as they sort of bought into it, bang, they never looked back. So yeah, it'll be interesting in about a month's time from now to see what the shape of this side looks like, and our style of play, and what the rest of the competition looks like compared to us. I'm really, it's so early days. Yeah, it's 4 weeks in, you can't really judge it too much. But as I said, yeah, really good comment, Stuart. I think it is really important to bank these early wins, and it really helps you set it up for the whole year. So thanks for that. Now, last tweet, and my favourite tweet of the week. This is from Peter Nellis. I nearly said it's from Tom Atkins. Wouldn't that be great? Feel free to send in your tweets, Tom. But Peter Nellis, at Pete Nellis, says, Tom Atkins has been fantastic down back, really performs his role. Tackle pressure is relentless, gathers quality possessions while shutting down his opponent. Yeah, he probably doesn't get enough love, does he, Tom Atkins? He does. He's, I guess probably the coaches see a lot more of what he's doing than maybe what us fans are doing. He seems to get some tough jobs, and he's put in some roles that maybe he's not super comfortable with. But yeah, I like what he's doing. I'm happy to keep him in the team. I know there's a lot of others that want him out of that side, but I think he's earned. I think he's earned his spot in the side. I mean, if he keeps playing the way he is, I see no reason why he should get moved out of the side, other than potentially for rotations. I know that's a pretty big thing this year, especially for the older blokes, but I wouldn't put Atkins in that group. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's about giving some other guys a go too. So, but I think yeah, he's done great. I love the way he tackles. Sometimes the disposal's not ideal, But yeah, and he's not a tall player either, so that's got some disadvantages with it. But really like Atkins, one of my favourite players. I think he's called the Axe. I think that's his nickname. He's not to be confused with the Axeman, who's probably going to make an appearance later tonight on Twitter. So I'm interested to see what everyone's got to say about that. But anyway, that's the tweets of the week. How did I go? I think I got through it 15 minutes. Oh my god! All right, that's enough from me. I might see you a bit later with the match review. Okay, see you later. Bye.